Hello class. Today our topic of discussion for the 11th class is motion in a plane and circular motion. Motion in a plane, that is called the two-dimensional motion. Two-dimensional, where we need the two coordinates to define the motion. And motion in plane, when we explain the different equations of motion that must be expressed in the two coordinates, let's say for x and y. Like we have this equation of motion at. We have to express it into the two coordinates like this: vxi, vyj equal to uxi plus uyj plus acceleration axi ayj into t. Then along x-axis this equation is ux axt, and along y-axis this equation is this one. Similarly, for the displacement equation ut plus half at square, we have the two terms. Like along horizontal, this term is uxt plus half axt square, or along vertical y naught uyt plus half ayt square. So for the two-dimensional motion, we use the equations and we use the two coordinate system. Let's say we say that x and y, Cartesian coordinate x and y. And when we describe the position, we need the two coordinates x and y coordinate. And the terms, the equations of motion, that also be expressed in the two coordinates. The example to explain this motion in plane, that is called the projectile. Projectile is any body that is fired along horizontally, but then after move under the effect of gravity, that is called projectile. Say we fire a bullet fired from a gun, or a stone fired from a window when the train is moving. These motions are considered as a projectile motion. But for the theoretical part, to explain the motion of projectile, the air friction is neglected and it is considered as the combination of two motions, two velocities. One is along horizontal, that is uniform velocity. Means when we describe the projectile motion, the horizontal velocity remain uniform. So the acceleration along horizontal is considered zero, because the horizontal velocity is a uniform horizontal velocity. But vertical is under the effect of gravity, and acceleration along the vertical is considered as acceleration due to gravity. So to describe the projectile motion, we considering it is the combination of two velocities, and horizontal acceleration is zero, and vertical acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, and the frictional force is air friction is neglected. First we describe the projectile fired parallel to horizontal parallel. First we describe this. To explain this, we considering that at point this O to A, it's at height h, we object with horizontal velocity u fired parallel to this horizontal. Then after some time, under the effect of gravity, it move in this path and strike at point Q on the ground. Now during motion, let it is at point P with the coordinate xy at time t. So along this x and along this the displacement is y. We have the various terms, that is here we explained. First is path of projectile. Means when this projectile is fired along parallel to horizontal, what is the nature of this path? How we explain this? For this combination of two motions, so along this x-axis and this is y-axis. So horizontal is x naught uxt half axt square. This is x. We considering this time t, so the displacement is here x. This is initial, no displacement, 0. Now this horizontal velocity is u, that remain whole motion constant, so at ax is 0. So this is u into t plus 0 means x is ut or t is equal to x upon u. This is along horizontal. Now along vertical, the equation is uyt plus half ayt square. So the horizontal at this point, this is the displacement. So this is y 0, no vertical velocity, 0 into t. But under gravity, the acceleration is half gt square. So we get y is equal to half gt square. Put the value of t, this value. But we got gx square u square means g 2u square x square. And this becomes the equation of a parabola. Means a projectile which is fired parallel to the horizontal, that is moved in a parabolic path. So this is the first point. And the second is time of flight. Time of flight means the total time for its flight, the total time to cover this motion, denoted by t. Time of flight denoted by t. So again, the vertical equation, you have to remember these equations. Ayt square, this is maximum distance, vertical, that is the height of this point. 0, 0, half g. Now this time is time of flight, full time, t square. So this h is half gt square, and this t square is 2h upon g, or we can say that 2h upon g, and this is the time of flight. Okay, and the third is a horizontal range. Horizontal range. And what is this? This is the horizontal distance, this one. Because here the vertical distance is fixed. So we're considering horizontal range, and it is denoted by r. So this is x horizontal uxt half axt square. Now this is the full distance. This is 0 u. The time is time of flight. Why? Because the projectile takes the same time to cover this and to cover this, because it is a combination of two motions. So here what we got, the range is u 2h upon g. This is the horizontal range for this motion. And the fourth is velocity. How we calculate the velocity at point P. This P point, that is our observation point. There the velocity is v. This is two-dimensional. We're considering this two component ux and uy. So it is again has the two components, that is vx and vy. But we say that the horizontal component remains same throughout the motion. So ux axt, we can prove it also. U plus 0, that is u. And what about the vertical? That is uy ayt means 0 plus gt. So the total velocity is vx square vy square square, that is u square g square t square. This is the velocity. And what about the direction? That here, if we say that this is the velocity, this is the horizontal, and this makes an angle beta. So tan beta is vy upon vx means gt upon u, and the beta is tan inverse of this gt by u. So these are the terms where we considering the projectile fired parallel to horizontal. First we say combination of two velocities, horizontal remain constant, vertical is changing, path is parabolic, time of flight, total time taken, horizontal range, horizontal distance, and the velocity. And now the next one that is angular projection. The projectile at angular projection. angular projection means when it is fired with an angle with velocity u, horizontal angle theta, fired, then it moves and after some time it strikes the ground. Now here is a maximum height, one more point here, that is maximum height, and this is again the horizontal range. Now again we considering the point P here, that is xy coordinates. Now the ux is here, this ux and uy. So the ux is u cos theta and uy is u sin theta. So ux, u cos theta and uy is u sin theta. But ax is 0 because it remain constant throughout the motion, and ay is minus g because here the point is against gravity. Again the first is path of projectile, path again the horizontal, uxt half axt square, this is x 0, u cos theta into t, because this point we have considering at any time t plus 0. So x is u cos theta into t and the t is x upon u cos theta. Now the vertical y naught uyt plus half ayt square, and we have y 0, this is u sin theta t minus half gt square because the ay is a minus g. So put the value u sin theta x upon u cos theta minus half g x square u square cos square theta. So you cancel and we get x tan theta minus g 2u square cos square theta x square. This is again the equation of parabola. So the projectile which is fired with angular projection at an angle theta with the horizontal again move in parabolic path. And the second is time of flight, total time taken from here to here. Here we are considering that this is the total time, time of ascent, time of descent, double time. Means ascent, descent, that is 2t, and this 2t that we're considering the time of flight, ascent plus descent, that is a 2t time. Now we're considering uy plus ayt here. Up to this point, maximum height, final velocity is 0. At this maximum point, final velocity is 0. And u sin theta, this is minus g. Now what about this t, small t? Because up to this, if this up to here, it is total time of flight, but this is half of time of flight. And we have u sin theta gt by 2 and the t become 2u sin theta by g, that is called the time of flight. So you have to remember this thing, what equation that we use here. Now the third one is, there is one more term in this case, that is maximum height, because in the last case the height is same from where the projectile is fired, but here the height can be changed when this angle of projection is changed. So the maximum height has to be calculated here. For this we use this equation, uy square 2ayh, maximum height formula. This is 0, this is u square sin square theta, this is 2 minus gh, and what we got here, u minus minus u square sin square theta 2gh, and the maximum height become u square sin square theta upon 2g. This is called the maximum height in this case. And the fourth is a horizontal range. Horizontal range. and the horizontal range means this one, this horizontal distance. So the time for this and this is the same, that is the horizontal range, and this is x naught plus uxt plus half axt square means r 0 u cos theta into time plus 0 because a is again 0. So r is u cos theta, and what about here t? That is the time of flight, that is 2u sine theta upon g, and this is called u square 2 sine theta cos theta upon g, and this is the trigonometric term, that is u square sine 2 theta by g. So we have the terms parabolic path, time of flight for angular projection, maximum height for angular projection, and this is called the horizontal range for angular projection. In this case, the maximum range that will be when this range is maximum, when this sine 2 theta is maximum, means it is 1. And at what angle the sine is 1? Sine 90 degree. So 2 theta 90 or theta is 45. So keep in mind at 45 degree the horizontal range is maximum, and that is equal to u square upon g. And what one more thing, theta and 90 minus theta, this range is same. For theta angle and 90 minus theta, horizontal range is same. If we say that this is r1 sine 2 theta by g, and this is r2 u square sine 2 90 minus theta by g, and we have u square sine 180 minus 2 theta by g. 180 minus theta is sine theta, sine 2 theta by g. So this r1 is equal to r2. So keep in mind the horizontal range is the same for theta and 90 minus theta. And for the last term, what we have to calculate, we calculate the velocity here. Velocity, that is again with the two components, that is vy uy plus ayt and vx ux plus axt. This is u cos theta plus 0, because we have considered the horizontal component remains same, and this is vy is u sine theta minus gt. And what about the total velocity? X square y square, that is equal to u cos theta square plus u sine theta minus gt whole square. Then its velocity become u square cos square theta plus u square sine square theta plus g square t square minus 2gt sine theta, and the velocity become u square g square t square minus 2gt sine theta. This is the velocity. And what about the direction again? Y component divided by x, u sine theta minus gt divided by u cos theta, and when you write it, tan theta minus gt upon u cos theta, because you have written u sine theta divided by u cos theta minus gt divided by u cos theta, and the result become this. So for the projectile, very important for +1 class, for projectile fired parallel to horizontal, we have the terms path, time of flight, horizontal range and velocity. And for angular projection, we have again the path, time of flight, maximum height, horizontal range and the range terms and the velocity. And if this angle is, we considering with vertical, again the motion is again this, now the u, now in this case ux is u sine theta and uy is u cos theta. And here we're considering the x component sine theta and the y component cos theta, and we define the whole terms by taking uxu sine theta and cos theta. All terms get reversed, but the the horizontal range remain same. So this is the motion in a plane, and this is the two-dimensional motion equation. And next, for explaining the circular motion, we have the terms angular displacement, that is theta, and we're considering the theta angle as a arc upon radius. So for circular motion, we have considering this is as a angular displacement L upon R. And the value this theta and delta theta, they are the finite values, but they considering as a scalar quantities because they don't follow the commutative laws. But when we considering the infinite small values, that is in terms of d theta, they are considering as a vector quantity, and its direction is again with the right hand thumb rules. Means if this is the rotation 0, this is the particle position, this is again the next position, and the particle is rotating along this is d theta, then what is the direction? That is the perpendicular direction, d theta vector. So its SI unit is a radian. Okay, and the next is angular velocity. Angular velocity means omega, that is d theta upon dt, change of displacement with the time, radian per second. This is called angular velocity. And angular velocity, again, this is a vector quantity because the average velocity is written as delta theta upon delta t. But when we give it the limiting value, this delta t approaches to 0, this and this limit delta t approaches to 0 theta, this become d theta upon dt, and this is called instantaneous velocity, and this is the angular velocity d theta, and its direction is again along the direction of d theta vector, and its unit is radian per second square, and its dimensional formula m0 l0 radian per second t minus 1 omega, and this omega is also written as 2 pi by t, or this 1 by t is the frequency, 2 pi nu. So we calculate this angular velocity by using these equations. And the third term is angular acceleration. These are the terms that we use to explain the circular motion. Angular acceleration is alpha, again the rate of change of angular velocity, again in the vector form, that is radian per second square, and again the right hand thumb rule is used to explain the angular acceleration. And if we say that this angular acceleration d omega upon dt, this derivative, this omega is d theta upon dt, so we can say d theta dt square means double time derivative, that is called the angular acceleration. So these are the three basic quantities or terms that is used to explain the circular motion when the body is moving in a circular motion. That is the angular displacement d theta, angular displacement, and it is a vector quantity, angular velocity, that is in the direction of d theta, and angular acceleration. This angular velocity is also defined as omega, that is 2 pi by t, 2 pi nu, and angular acceleration. Okay, thank you. In the next video we are discussing about their relations and the most important term, that is centripetal acceleration. Okay.